Hello. So back in the cupboard today. I can see my window's very bright there. Let me see if I can just get rid of that brightness. Okay, it looks okay. A little bit more. Yeah, I'm back at home today. I'm in the cupboard. Um, this week you have just finished homework 4, and I checked some homeworks yesterday, and they were very good. Most of them were very good. Some of them were excellent. What's happening with my hair's crazy today? I'm having a crazy hair day. Sorry about that. So anyway, yeah, I checked your homeworks, and some of you have really studied for the homework well. You've had a good think, and you've researched the homework very well, and some of you have really presented the homework very well. So yes, I'm quite satisfied with my students on Monday, and I'm recording this on Tuesday, so I'm looking forward to checking my students' homework on Wednesday and Thursday. So when we've finished our homework now, we're just going to have you can have a bit of a rest. I think for 2 weeks there is no more homework for you anyway. But even though you have a few weeks, I still want you to think about the final exam, because suddenly the final exam will come very quickly, and so it's nice to be, and you'll go, oh, I didn't prepare for my exam. So it's always good to be prepared. My hair is really crazy today. Look at that. What is it? Anyway, so it's good to be very prepared, and so as I told you already, please find as soon as possible. Please find a partner, okay? Because the final exam is a conversation piece where you need to have a conversation with your partner for about 3 minutes. Usually it's 4 minutes, but because we had a rather difficult semester, I'm making it easier for you, and I'm asking you to produce a conversation with your partner for 3 minutes. Later, in the next couple of weeks, we will have time to practice the exam, and I will explain exactly what you need to do for the exam. But very simply, the exam is a 3-minute conversation, and the 내용, the topic, can be anything you want to talk about for the exam. The most important thing for the exam, from my thinking, is that you include some of the language we have studied this semester. Okay, I want to see that you are using the language we have studied in the lectures, which you have in your notebooks, and in interchange as well. But interchange as well, of course, yeah. So interchange and your notebooks. I want you to think about the language you've studied and try and include it in the body of your conversation. So, for example, last week and today, we are going to talk about superlatives. Last week we studied superlatives. So this week we're just going to have a look at a superlative quiz. So if you can include superlatives in your conversation, great. Okay, and I will see that, and I will say, okay, they are using effectively the language which we have studied this semester. Alright, so let's get on with it today, and we are going just to work in the interchange book today, and as I said, last week we studied superlatives. So what I'd like you to do for the first part of this lesson is go to page 100 129. 129 at the back of the book. Big Ishikujok. Okay. And 129 is called a World Knowledge Quiz. Okay, so it's a knowledge you have about the world. How much do you know about our world? And all of the questions, we have 10 questions, and all of the questions have a superlative adjective in them. So if you remember last week, we were talking about the tallest and the fastest, and we also did the long superlative. For example, the most delicious or the most beautiful, etc. Okay, so let's just do this together, this quiz, and see how you get on, and let's see if you have a good knowledge about the world. So number 1, which place is the wettest? The wettest. So when we see the word wettest, we are talking about the place which has the most rain. Okay, which of these 3 places has the most rain? Okay, so the first one is Hawaii. It's a Kauai in Hawaii. The second one, I don't know the pronunciation. The second one is Manaus, which is in Brazil. Manaus, Brazil. And the last one is China. Yimeishan in China. So just check which one of those do you think is the wettest. Which one of these 3 places has the most rain in 1 year? Number 2, which country is the hottest? Okay, so these are all going to be like African countries. Maybe they are desert countries. So the first one is Algeria, which is in North Africa. The second one is Libya, which is also in North Africa. And the third one is Somalia, which is kind of East Africa. And I don't know, but they are all very hot. But which one is the hottest? Because Algeria is very hot, Libya is very hot, Somalia is very hot. But which country is the hottest? Number 3, which country is closest to the equator? The equator. So equator, I believe, is a jokdo. Okay, the line in the middle of the planet is called the equator. It goes through the middle of the planet, goes around. It's the equator. Always usually a hot country. So which country is closest to the equator? Is it Colombia, which is in South America? I have been to Colombia. Is it India? Or is it Malaysia? Malaysia, which is obviously in Asia, just above Singapore. So which one of those 3 countries is closest to the equator? Number 4, which animal is the biggest? Which animal is the biggest? Okay, I think this one is very easy. Which animal is the biggest? A bison. So a bison's kind of like a saw, like a big saw. An elephant. It's pretty big. An elephant's pretty big. Or a blue whale. You can put your check in the box. Which one of those is biggest? I know. This one. Number 5. Which animal lives the longest? So this means which animal lives the longest time? Okay, some animals have a short life. You know, maybe for example, a cat. A cat has a short life. Usually, a cat lives for 8 or 9 years, right? Or a dog maybe lives for 11 or 12 or 13 years. But some animals live a very long time. They live longer than people, than humans. So here we have 3 animals. All of these animals live a long time. The first one is an elephant. Second one is a tortoise, which is a gorbogi. And the third one is a green iguana, which is like a big, very big domabem, an iguana. A green iguana. Oh, I know, I've seen green iguana. Okay, so put your check in the box. And number 6. Which mountain range is the longest? So a mountain range is a group of mountains. Usually it's mountains in a line. So how do you say mountain range in Korean? I think it's Sanmek. Sanmek is not Sengmek. Sengmek. Sanmek. I guess if you drank a beer on a mountain, would that be Sanmek? Anyway, which mountain range is the longest? Is it the Andes, which is in South America, Peru, Chile, this area? Or is it the Himalayas? And Himalayas is very famous because the highest mountain in the world is in the Himalayas, which is obviously Everest mountain is in the Himalaya. And the third one is the Rockies, the Rocky Mountains, and this is in North America, the United States. Colorado is the Rocky Mountain range. So which one is the longest mountain range? Question 7 and question 8, we have questions about the planets. And the planets in Korean, how do you say planets in Korean? I think it's Haesong. So question 7, which planet is the smallest planet? Is it Earth, which is our Urijip, Earth? Is it Mercury? Or is it Venus? Venus is the next to Earth. If we have Earth, our planet, Earth is in between Mars, very famous Mars, and Venus. And these days at night time, if the sky is clear, even in Busan at night time, in the early evening, if you look at the moon, next to the moon, you can see a byeol, but it isn't a star. It's a Haesong. It is Venus. Very clear. You can see Venus very clearly in the evening, just in the evening, early evening, next to the moon. You can check it out. Check it out. And Mercury is if we do another. If we looked at question 3, which country is closest to the equator, I can change this question to which planet is closest to the sun. And That is Mercury. Mercury is the closest planet to the sun. I know that. But the question is, which planet is the smallest? I don't know. Which planet is the smallest? I think Mercury, actually. Anyway. Alright, and number 8. Which planet is the largest? Which planet is the largest? So we have the gas planets. We have Jupiter, Neptune and Saturn. Jupiter, Neptune and Saturn. I don't know if Korean has a different word for these planets, but anyway, in English we have Jupiter, Neptune and Saturn, and I think it's Saturn. I'm not sure. Not sure which planet is the largest. What do you think? Put a check in the box. Okay, question 9. Which city is the oldest city? So this is, which city is the oldest city in the world? Which city is the oldest city in the world? Is it Beijing in China? It's very old place. Is it Luxor in Egypt? Or is it Rome in Italy? Rome is a very old city, of course, with Romans. Put your check in the box. And lastly, the final question. Which metal is the heaviest? Which metal is the heaviest metal? Is it aluminium? American migot yonga is aluminum. Gold or silver, which is and gold is kun. I love gold. So, which one is the heaviest? Some of these questions are very easy and some of these questions are very difficult. But anyway, let's check for it. So, question number 1. Which place is the wettest? Is it Kauai in Hawaii, Manaus in Brazil, or Imanshan in China? The answer is number 1, which is Hawaii. Oh, the answers are here, by the way. The answers are here. You can check your answers here, but let's check them together. So Kauai in Hawaii, yeah. Hawaii is very, very wet, and I think it rains nearly every day of the year in Hawaii. I think if there are 365 days in 1 year, I think it rains for 300 days or something. It's very wet. Number 2, which country is the hottest? And the answer is Libya. Libya is a desert country. If you go to the Libya, you can see lots of camels walking around in the desert. And too hot. It's too hot for me. I like cool countries. Which country is closest to the equator? And the answer is Colombia. And I have been to Colombia, and it's one of my favorite countries. I love the Colombian music. Colombian music is so cool. But it's a little bit, it's quite dangerous. It's quite dangerous. There's lots of crime there. So you have to be careful. Number 4, which animal is the biggest? Oh, so easy. It's the blue whale. The blue whale is, of course, the blue whale is the biggest. The blue whale is as big as 2 dongy bus. Number 5. Which animal lives the longest? An elephant, a tortoise, or a green iguana? And it's a tortoise. And tortoise can live for hundreds of years. I think it's like 150 years or something they can live for. Just I actually I don't know, but they live for a very very long time. But they don't do anything, right? They're kind of lazy, and they're always sleeping. So I think, if I sleep all the time, maybe I can live a long time. Next question. Which mountain range is the longest? And the mountain range I thought it was the Himalayas, but it is the Andes. Okay, so the Andes it's very very long, and it goes through 2 or 3 countries. It's very long. Which planet is the smallest? Number 7. Mercury. Actually, Mercury is very, very small. Very, very small. But I think because the sun blasted, it smashes Mercury. So Mercury lost all of its land and things. Which planet is the largest? Oh, well, I thought it was Saturn, but it's Jupiter. Jupiter is the largest. I didn't know that. Number 9. Which city is the oldest? Everybody should be correct with this one. Which is Luxor in Egypt. Of course, famous for the pyramids and the Sphinx. I haven't been to Egypt. I really want to go. One day I will go. Number 10. Which metal is the heaviest? Oh, so easy. It is gold. Gold is obviously the heaviest metal. Okay, so we have 11 and 12 there. Actually, how about this? 11 and 12. For just question 11. Can you write 1 or 2? You think of a question, and it could be about anything in the world. It could be about Korea. So see if you can write a 최상급 질문. So for example, and it can be anything. So for me, obviously, I would say, what is the best football team in the world? What is the best football team in the world? So, quite easy. What is the best football team in the world? The answer is Tottenham Hotspur. Yeah. Number 1, top of the league. On the top of the league. Asa. Very happy about that. Come on. Okay. So yeah, if you can do that, think of a 최상급 question, and I walk around, and sometimes, as I said to you before, as I've said to you before, especially this semester, it is your responsibility. It is your responsibility to be studying online, because I can't check you, but I can check you a little bit in the classroom. Okay, so maybe next week in the classroom for the next study week, I'll check to see if you've got your if you have your 최상급 superlative questions, and maybe you can ask me, or we can ask the class and see if anybody's really smart. Okay. Good. How are we doing for time? Right, 24 minutes. All right. Okay. I'd just like you to go back now to page in the book. Can you go to page 64, which is chapter 10. So, if you look at chapter 10, the question is, have you ever been there? Have you ever been there? So, if you just forget about there, don't worry about there, and forget about ever. So if we got the have you been? So what we have there is a question, which is about your experience, your completed experience, the things you started and you finished in the past. Okay, so if we use the word been, it often talks about been is a PP 동사, the past participle, and we can see a list of past participles here, and they are regular küçük PP and they are irregular büyük küçük PP. As you can see, most verbs have irregular past participles, and we use these when we talk about our 경험. Okay, so there are some here, and at the back we have lots of irregular ones here and here, this column here and this column here. So we use past participle when we talk about our experience, our finished experience. So a very common question would be, have you been? Have you been? And this is usually talking about your a place where you went to, a place you were in. So have you been to Seoul? Okay, so it's 서울에 가본 적이 있어요. Have you been to Seoul? Have you been to Seoul? And we can also add ever into this question. So I can say, have you ever been to Seoul? Have you ever been to Seoul? So this means 태어났을 때부터 이제까지, all of your experience in all of your life. Have you ever been to Seoul? Okay, 서울에 가본 적이 있어요. And but maybe if we talk about the short time in your past, maybe let's say 1 year ago until today, we could say 최근에. When we're talking about when we did the timeline, we talked about recently. So 최근에 is recently. Have you recently been to Seoul? Have you recently been to Seoul? So 최근에 서울에 가본 적이 있어요. Have you recently been to Seoul? So have you ever been to Seoul, or have you recently been to Seoul? And let's change it to a different PP. Let's change it to eat. So eat, 과거, ate, PP, eaten. So have you eaten lunch? Have you eaten lunch? Have you eaten lunch? Or let's talk about have you ever. Have you ever eaten, can you think of some 어떤 이상한 한국 음식? Oh, have you ever eaten 닭발? Have you ever eaten 홍어? Have you ever eaten 쌍낙지? Okay. In your lifetime, in your experience. And then 최근에, recently. Have you recently eaten fried chicken? Have you recently eaten tteokbokki? Have you recently eaten tteokbokki? You know, in a short time ago. And then did the person there? Yes, I have. No, I haven't. Yes, I have. No, I haven't. Or change the subject. Yes, he has. No, she hasn't. Okay. Let's make a sentence with been to in positive and negative. So I'm going to talk about Korean cities. Korean cities. No, I'm going to talk about Korean islands. Korean islands. Hanguk-song. I have been to Jeju Island, but I haven't been to Dokdo. I have been to Jeju Island, but I haven't been to Dokdo. I have been to Kojay Island, Kojay-do, but I haven't been to Ulongdo, Ulong Island. Eaten. I have eaten hongo. I have eaten hongo, but I haven't eaten hokdaeji because I'm vegetarian. Okay. And then with the I have eaten, I have, put it together. I've eaten hongo, but I haven't eaten black pork. Black pork hokdaeji. Okay. We can also add a busa, another busa, to talk about time. So like for example, polso or bangum. So I've already eaten lunch. I've just would you like a coffee? No, thank you. I've just had a coffee. Okay. So hopefully that you can understand that, and we'll do some listening now. We're talking. Two people are talking. The girl's name is Erin, and the boy's name is Carlos. And they are talking about Orlando. They are talking about sightseeing in Orlando. Kind of travel activities which we've studied, and you can actually see a few sightseeing activities here in Orlando. You've got the go to a theme park, go dancing, visit Space Center. Oh, there's a Space Center in Orlando. Eat Cuban food, delicious, and see an alligator. Okay. So let's listen to Erin and Carlos talking.
It's great to see you again, Carlos. Have you been in Orlando long?
You too, Erin. I've been here for about a week.
I can't wait to show you the city. Have you been to the theme parks yet?
Yeah, I've already been to 3. The lines were so long.
Okay, well, how about shopping? I know a great store.
Well, I've already been to so many stores. I can't buy any more clothes.
I know what. I bet you haven't visited the Kennedy Space Center. It's an hour away.
Actually, I've already been to the Space Center and met an astronaut.
Wow, you've done a lot. Well, is there anything you want to do?
I really just want to take it easy today. My feet are killing me.
Okay, let's just listen one more
Unit
time.
10. Have you ever been there? Page 64. Exercise 2. Conversation. My feet are killing me. Part A. Listen and practice.
It's great to see you again, Carlos. Have you been in Orlando long?
Okay, so have you been in Orlando long? Okay, so have you been in Orlando long? This means have you been in Orlando for a long time? Already I say. You too, Erin. I've been here for Shigan. I've been here for about a week. I've been here for about a week.
You too, Aaron. I've been here for about a week.
I can't wait to show you the city. Have you been?
Yeah, I've already been. Yeah, I've already been to 3. The lines were so long.
Okay, so have you been to the theme parks yet? Yeah, yes I have. Yes I have. Yeah. I've been to 3 theme parks. I have. I've been to 3 theme parks. And Pulsar, I've already been to 3.
Okay. Well, how about shopping? I know a great store.
Well, I've already been to so many stores. I can't buy any more clothes.
Okay, I've been to so many stores. And then Pulsar, I've already been to so many stores.
I know what. I bet you haven't visited the Kennedy Space Center.
Okay, so the Kennedy Space Center, very famous Uchi Center here, and she says, I bet. It's kind of like when she says, I bet, she's like, hal tende. Okay, so I bet you haven't visited. Okay, so you haven't visited, and visited is a Q chick PP. Okay, so it doesn't change. We go visit, 과거, visited, PP 동사, visited. I bet you haven't visited the Kennedy Space Center. It's an hour away.
It's an hour away.
Actually, I've already been to the Space Center and met an astronaut.
Wow, you've done a lot.
Okay, so you've done a lot. So did, 과거, do, 과거, did, PP, done. Do, did, done. Okay, so you've done a lot. This here it says do, did, but this is a mistake. It's a typo. It's a mistake. You've done a lot. It's not did. Did is 과거. It's done.
Well, is there anything you want to do?
You know, I really just want to take it easy today. My feet are killing me.
Okay, is there anything you want to do? I just want to take it easy today. I want to chill out. My feet are killing me. Okay, my feet are killing me. This means I'm so tired because I'm walking so far. So my feet are killing me. My feet are so no more apayo. They are killing me. I'm very tired. Okay, good. All right, let's listen to the next part. And what do they plan to do tomorrow? What do they plan to do tomorrow in part B?
Page 64. Exercise 2. Part B. Listen to the rest of the conversation. What do they plan to do tomorrow?
Thanks, Aaron. We can plan something for tomorrow.
Great. Have you been to a Cuban restaurant yet?
No, I haven't. But I've heard Cuban food is delicious. Let's have lunch at a Cuban restaurant tomorrow.
Good idea. I know a great little place on Orange Blossom Trail.
Cool. Maybe in the evening we can go listen to some jazz. Do you know a good club?
Sure. I've been to several. We can go to Casey's on Central. I've been there a couple of times. It's really good.
Okay, sounds like a plan.
Page 64.
Okay. So they plan to do two things. What do they plan to do? Well, number one, they plan to go to a Cuban restaurant. Okay, Cuba is an island, and it is Orlando is in Florida, in America, and Cuba is an island which is next to Florida. And Cuban cuisine is very popular in Florida. So Orlando is a city in Florida, right? So Cuban cuisine is very popular in Orlando. So they plan to go to a Cuban restaurant. And one more thing, what else do they plan to do? They plan to go to a jazz club. Okay. And the question, how many times has Erin been to the jazz club? How many times? If you listen again, you can repeat and listen. See if you can listen. See how many times has she been to the jazz club? Pause. Play. Okay, she has been to the. She said she has been to the jazz club a couple of times, right? So 2 times she's been to the jazz club, 2 times. All right, and actually, if we go to page 66, we have another conversation here, which is Erin and Carlos, and I think they're going to have a date, and they are going to go to the Cuban restaurant. I'm very excited. Let's check out what happens.
Page 66. Exercise 4. Conversation. Have you ever had a Cuban sandwich? Part A. Listen and practice.
I'm sorry I'm late. Have you been here long?
No, only for a few minutes. So, have you chosen a restaurant yet?
I can't decide. We can go to a big restaurant or have a sandwich at a cafe. Have you ever had a Cuban sandwich?
No, I haven't. Are they good?
They're delicious. I've had them many times.
You really like Cuban food. Have you ever been to Cuba?
No, but I went to college in Miami. I ate empanadas and rice and beans all the time.
Okay, Erin's late. And she says, I'm sorry I'm late. Have you been here long? Okay, so have you been here long?
Page 66. Exercise 4. Conversation. Have you ever had a Cuban sandwich? Part A. Listen and practice.
I'm sorry I'm late. Have you been here long?
No, only for a few minutes.
Okay, so it's no, I haven't. No, I haven't. No, only for a few minutes.
So, have you chosen a restaurant yet?
I can't.
Okay, so have you PP 동사 choose 과거 chose chosen. Okay, it's 불규칙 chosen, and yeah, so choose is not there, but it's choose 과거 chose PP chosen. So have you chosen a restaurant yet? So she's kind of like, no, I haven't. I can't decide.
Decide. We can go to a big restaurant or have a sandwich at a cafe. Have you ever had a Cuban sandwich?
Okay, have you ever had a Cuban sandwich? So in this sentence, we could switch had and eaten, and they are both okay. Okay, so have you ever in your life, have you ever eaten a Cuban sandwich? Have you ever had a Cuban sandwich? No, I haven't. Yes, I have. No, I haven't. Are they good? They're delicious.
No, I haven't. Are they good?
They're delicious. I've had them many times.
You really like Cuban food. So,
Oh.
have you chosen a restaurant
Oh, sorry.
yet?
Means all the time.
Page 66.
No, but I went to college in Miami. I ate empanadas and rice and
Sorry.
beans all the time. Yes, I've had them many times.
You really like Cuban food.
Yeah, I wanted to stop that there, just for the intonation. So, he's saying really, you really like. He doesn't say you really like Cuban. You really like Cuban food. He says you really like Cuban food. He's putting some emotion into his speech. Okay, so in your final exam, when you do your practice with your partner, I want you to have some intonation going up. You really like Cuban food, not you really like Cuban food. I am a robot. How are you? I'm fine, thank you. And you? Okay, I want you to put some intonation into your speech. You really like Cuban food. Have you ever been to Cuba?
Have you ever been to Cuba?
No, but I went to college in Miami. I ate empanadas and rice and beans all the time.
Listen to part B. And where do they decide to go after lunch? After lunch. After they've eaten their lunch, where do they decide to go?
Page 66. Exercise 4. Part B. Listen to the rest of the conversation. Where do they decide to go after lunch?
So, what would you like to do this afternoon?
Let's see. Have you ever been close to an alligator?
What? No, I haven't. Why?
There's a new alligator park that I haven't been to yet. I've heard it's very exciting. You can see alligators up close and take pictures with them.
Okay, let me just finish my sandwich. Maybe this will be my last meal.
Haha. Wow. I've never seen you this scared before.
Okay, so where do they decide to go? They decide to go to an alligator park, okay, where you can see alligators. Just if you want to practice this grammar point, the grammar we have been studying here, we're talking about kyungam is here. It's question and then an answer, but then you carry on talking more exactly, dojasei, more specifically, and then you use kwago. Okay, so let's go through that. Have you ever eaten Cuban food? Yes, I have. I've had it many times. Kwago, I ate a lot of Cuban food when I lived in Miami. Have you ever eaten Cuban food? No, I haven't. I haven't tried it yet. 먹어본 적이 없어요. Okay, and then 과거. No, I never tried it when I lived in Miami. Have you ever seen an alligator? Yes, I have. I've seen a few alligators in my life. And then Quago, Do Jasei, I saw a big alligator at the new park last week. Have you ever seen an alligator? No, I haven't. I've never seen one. Okay, and this one is an alligator. No, I haven't. I've never seen one. I didn't go to the alligator Quago. I didn't go to the alligator park last week, so I didn't see any. Alright, so it's a little bit difficult. But basically, when we talk about our experience, yes or no, we use the PP. And the red line is here. Use the present perfect. Too complicated. But when we talk about our experience, question or sentence, we use a PP 동사. I have been to Seoul. I haven't been to Gwangju. But when we want to be more detailed, we use 과거. I went to Seoul 2 weeks ago. When I went to Jeollanam-do, I didn't visit Gwangju. Jeollabuk-do. I don't know. Alright, okay. So that's it. So if you want to try this, if you want to try this, please try, and I'll check it in the classroom. And don't forget to write your Chesangup quiz question as well in here. Okay. So no homework this week, really. Well, that's a little bit of homework, I suppose, but not really. So have a relaxing weekend this weekend. You don't have any big point homework anyway. Okay, thank you very much, and see you next time. My hair will be better next time.